Lizzie Borden and the double murder of her father and stepmother. In the quiet, 19th century town of Fall River, Massachusetts, the Borden family stood as a prominent and respected part of the community. Lizzie Borden was part of this family, a name that would soon become synonymous with one of the most infamous murder cases in American history. Lizzie was the younger daughter of Andrew Borden, a successful businessman, and his second wife, Abby Borden. Household was a stately Victorian home, but beneath its well-maintained facade lay a family with simmering tensions. Lizzie had an older sister, Emma, and their lives were marked by privilege and social standing. There were signs of discord within the family. Receiving a modest education, Lizzie was an active member of the church, instructing Sunday school to the children of recent immigrants in the United States. Her commitment extended to her involvement in religious groups like the Christian Endeavor Society, where she held the position of secretary-treasurer, and her participation in modern social causes, such as the Women's Christian Temperance Union. She was also a member of the Ladies' Fruit and Flower Mission. But on the sweltering summer morning of August 4th, 1892, the Borden household in Fall River, Massachusetts, would become the epicenter of a horrifying and gruesome crime. A crime that will involve Lizzie's name. The day began like any other in the Borden residence, but it soon took a sinister turn when the lifeless bodies of Andrew and Abby will be found within their home. Andrew, a prominent local businessman, was found brutally slain in the sitting room, while Abby met a similar grisly fate in an upstairs bedroom. Quickly initiated an investigation into the murders, and the scene was one of chaos and confusion. The gruesome nature of the crime sent shockwaves through the community, leaving residents in a state of shock and disbelief. A puzzling behavior of Lizzie Borden was also observed that day. Her accounts of her actions and whereabouts during the time of the murders were inconsistent and raised suspicion. Her demeanor throughout the investigation added to the intrigue, as she displayed a mixture of calm and distress that left law enforcement officials and the public deeply divided on her involvement. This was when the sensational nature of the case gripped not only the small town of Fall River, but the nation as a whole. Newspapers eagerly covered the story, and the public was captivated by the sensational aspects of the crime. With the gruesome murders of Andrew and Abby in the rearview mirror, the small town of Fall River, Massachusetts, found itself engulfed in an atmosphere of suspicion and uncertainty. Lizzie's arrest marked the beginning of a trial that would go down in history as one of the most sensational and closely watched criminal cases of the 19th century. The evidence presented during the trial was a central focus. The murder weapon, a hatchet, was scrutinized, and the prosecution built its case around the weapon's discovery and potential connection to Lizzie. History was discussed as well. Following the passing of Lizzie's mother 3 years later, Andrew entered into matrimony with Abby. Later, Lizzie would mention that she addressed her stepmother as Mrs. Borden and refrained from specifying the nature of their relationship, suspecting that Abby had wed her father due to his financial affluence. Borden's 25-year-old live-in maid hailing from Ireland also provided testimony that Lizzie and Emma rarely dined with their parents. In May 1892, Andrew, believing that pigeons were luring local children to hunt them, used a hatchet to kill several pigeons in his barn. It has been widely recounted that Lizzie was upset over the killing of these pigeons, although the accuracy of this claim has been a subject of dispute. A family dispute in July 1892 allegedly led both sisters to take extended vacation in New Bedford. Upon their return to Fall River, just a week before the murders, Lizzie opted to spend 4 days in a local rooming house before returning to the Borden residence. It was also disclosed that tensions had been on the rise within the Borden family in the months leading up to the murders, primarily due to Andrew's gifting of real estate to different branches of Abby's family. Following their stepmother's sister receiving a house, the sisters demanded on and received a rental property, the residence they had inhabited until their mother's passing. They acquired this property from their father for a mere $1. Just a few weeks before the murders, they sold the same property back to their father for $5,000, equivalent to $163,000 in 2022. On the evening prior to the murders, John Vinica Morse, who was the maternal uncle of Lizzie and Emma, paid a visit and was extended an invitation to stay for a few days for discussions related to business matters with Andrew. This visit sparked speculation that their conversation, especially concerning property transfers, might have further exacerbated an already strained atmosphere. Morse, who had infrequent contact with the family following his sister's death, but had spent the night in the house just before the murders, had, according to law enforcement, supplied an alibi for Abby's death that was deemed overly detailed and suspiciously flawless. Consequently, he was viewed as a potential suspect by the police for a period. The trial of Lizzie was not only a legal battle, but also a contest of public opinion. It showed how gender and class played a significant role in shaping the attitudes of the jury, the media, and the public. Lizzie was represented by a skilled legal team, and they presented arguments in her favor. Her lawyers emphasized the lack of direct evidence tying her to the murders and raised questions about the investigation and its handling of the evidence. The courtroom drama included testimony from witnesses, forensic experts, and law enforcement officers, further adding to the intrigue surrounding the case. The ultimate verdict was delivered, and Lizzie Borden was acquitted of the charges against her. Her acquittal remains a subject of controversy and speculation to this day. Lizzie returned to a community that was still divided over her guilt or innocence, and her life post-trial as a woman forever marked by the shadow of suspicion. Following the trial, the Borden sisters relocated to a spacious, contemporary residence situated in the Hill neighborhood of Fall River. It was during this period that Lizzie started going by the name Lizbeth A. Borden. As a result of the ruling that Abby's death occurred prior to Andrew's, her estate initially transferred to Andrew, and subsequently, at his demise, it was inherited by his daughters as a part of his estate. However, a substantial settlement was disbursed to resolve claims from Abby's family. In 1905, following a dispute regarding a party hosted by Lizbeth for actress Nance O'Neill, Emma left their home and never reunited with her sister. Lizzie died on June 1st, 1927. 9 days later, Emma also passed away from an illness in a nursing home in Newmarket, New Hampshire. The Borden sisters, who never married, were laid to rest next to each other in the family's plot at Oak Grove Cemetery. And with that, we have come to the end of our video. Please don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and click that notification bell. This is Ben saying, see you next time.